Why is it important to me right here? These people. Without me doing this, I wouldn't have been able to beat anyone. Whatever the UFC does is bonus. Until then, I'll always be here for these people.
How much does hosting these open workouts help you and your brand?
It's fantastic. Obviously, this is fuel for me. It gives me purpose to what I'm doing, more motivation. I'm sure a lot of these people will be there Saturday night. But I get a lot of messages online and stuff too. So wherever I try to go, I try to make myself available, accessible, connect with the people, that type of thing. So it's big for me. It's beyond just competing and fighting for me.
Arjan, I believe you have some guests here. The Minister of Defense and Vancouver Canucks in the building. What's your relationship with them?
Yeah.
Where are they? Sorry. Next to me.
So Minister Sturgeon had to pull out. He got called for the floods to New Brunswick. So he had to pull the plug and get pulled out that way. But we do have Ben Hutton in the house. Has he pulled through yet? There he is. Come there. Come through. There he is. I didn't catch him away. My apologies. Good man. Vancouver Canuck, local dude, Ben Hutton, NHLer. Round of applause, guys. You hang over here, boss.
I'm letting you have the show. Come on now. You're the man. Too close.
So he's coming through to the fights on the weekend too, and a mutual friend that we know was able to get us connected to make this happen. So I appreciate that, you coming out, and we'll reciprocate in Vancouver.
That's right. Excited for Saturday.
Yeah, so any questions for Ben too? You guys go ahead and shoot. He's here. This is over here, right? So.
Ben, why didn't we see you get in there? He needed.
I was going to. You didn't give me
I'm scared, man. This guy messed me up before Saturday. Fights off, But yeah, I'm happy he's here either way though. Go ahead.
Well, you got a pretty big water bottle. How's the weight cut? How much were you cutting?
I'm good. You know what? I'll be around 250 for my fight, so I don't need to cut. But I like to be as lean as possible for the fight. Everything I kind of put in my system, fuel for the fight, that type of thing. I'm not 6'5" like some of those other guys, so I don't need to be on the top end of the weight class. As you can see, my movement, my agility, my cardio, that's usually in my favor, and it will be this weekend as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Why did you transition from wrestling to UFC?
Why did I? Wrestling is a very, very tough sport. The toughest sport you can do. It has a great base for the UFC, for MMA. Many of the champions in the UFC are former wrestlers, and I trained with them. I competed against some of them, and heading into the Olympics, I was like, you know what? I want to give this thing a go after the Olympics. If they can do it, I can do it, and I've been wrestling my whole life. So that's my dad back there. He wrestled before I did. As you can tell, he's got funny ears as well. Those are wrestling ears. So I'd wrestled my entire life, and I wanted to be able to use that, but also do something different, and I'm able to do that in the cage. So,
pretty good.
Yeah.
How did it feel to win gold for Canada at the Commonwealth Games in your ancestral home?
It was amazing. It was amazing. They came over for us, for our generation. The family came over from India for opportunity for our generation. So that was, it was kind of full circle. It meant a great deal to me to be able to thank Canada, represent Canada proudly, get that gold medal for us.
Yeah.
Canada's a beautiful country. I got interviewed actually earlier this week, and last time I was in Ottawa, I was at Parliament Hill joining many members from our community for the Kamagata Maru apology. I was in Parliament for that night. And it was a proud moment, one for our community, and two as a Canadian, because many countries in the world would not apologize for wrongdoings. And Canada is able to do that, and I'm a very proud Canadian.
That's true, Arjan.
Yeah.
When you're preparing for a fight, do you find the mental or physical prep to be harder?
You know what? I've learned to kind of embrace all of it. It's all a part of it now. When you set out in sports and you're younger, it's always physical. If you're bigger, stronger, faster, you'll win. But as you get to different levels in the game, it's the mental, it's the spiritual, all aspects of it. And I do, I spend a lot of time in that aspect. And I think even for this weekend, that really sets me apart from my opponent. He keeps talking about his physical attributes, his athleticism, that type of stuff. That only takes you so far. When it gets tough, it's not your athleticism that's going to bail you out. It's the inside, how bad you want it, your will to win, all that stuff. And I've been tested in that manner for many, many years, and I think that experience is going to pay off on the weekend. Go ahead.
What made you a great wrestler? Like, what advice can you give to like young wrestlers?
Advice to young wrestlers: find a good coach, good mentors, good team. You know, I have great people around me now. I had great people around me when I was wrestling, and always people that are better than you, so you can get pushed in that area. Same thing for business, anywhere else. You don't want to be where you're the top dog. You'll never get to the next level. So you always want to find an uncomfortable environment to grow. Many people hide from that. They like to stay comfortable and low bubble and feel good about themselves, but you want to find the uncomfortable. That's where the growth is. So surround yourself with good people, put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, and trust them. You know, I trust that I'm ready because my team tells me I'm ready. I'm obviously going to think I'm ready, but when my team tells me I'm ready and I trust them fully, I know I'm ready.
Good.
You got a question? Go ahead.
Chat!
What's in there?
I got some electrolytes in there to stay hydrated. Water, just kind of measuring how much I'm drinking. I sweat quite a bit, as you can tell, so I got to make sure I stay hydrated.
I got a question to both of you guys.
Sure.
How come you guys have a full set of teeth while playing
Have
hockey?
them on your face. Use your face. No, I can't pop them out. No. Mom wouldn't let me do that. So.
I've got all mine, so I just try to shoot before that happens.
How are you liking Ottawa so far?
Great. You know, it's we were just talking about it. It's got like even a European kind of French flavor to it, being close to Montreal. Kind of feel that. Government town, obviously. Crazy traffic today. We were late coming over here, but it's been great so far. Yeah.
What was it like to transition from MMA and to MMA? And what is some advice that you have for someone who wants to transition from wrestling to mixed martial arts?
First, you know, stick with your wrestling. Be at a high pedigree for wrestling. You know, get through your high school, go to university, get yourself a degree, because there's life after sport as well. And now you've competed in university for wrestling as well. And after that, if you want to make the jump, make it. Don't make it any sooner than that.
Arjan, you know, speaking of the transition from wrestling to MMA, you know, you got a lot of comparisons to Daniel Cormier early on. Now that you've been in the UFC a few times, you've lost, you've won, people got to see all kinds of sides of you. Do you still hear those comparisons? Do you welcome them, or are you again kind of more interested in letting people know more now, like who you are, supposed to compare to anyone else?
No, absolutely, I welcome those. He's the greatest fighter the UFC's ever seen. 40 years old, two-weight champion, natural, no bullshit. So, and he carries himself amazingly inside the cage and outside. And, you know, for me, that's the big reason I went to AK. He comes from a similar background in terms of wrestling, similar frame, and he's the champ, so if I could photocopy his blueprint, that's the way to success, why reinvent it. So if people see that, then I'm doing the right thing because I'm trying to do that.
Do you think you could take him in a wrestling match?
Hey! I'm a competitor, so I will compete, but you know what? I got a lot of respect for him. Let's just leave it there.
What about Kane? What about Kane?
Kane, he's a phenomenal athlete too. You know, I hope he bounces back for another fight. And he wrestled, you know, for Arizona State. Great athlete. These guys are my seniors. I'll never say anything bad about them. Good guys.
How old were you when you were able to out-wrestle your dad?
Ooh, you can ask him that. If you asked him, I still can. You know, never. So, you know, that's in-house, that's in the family, that's on the family farm, on the property. That's the only people that get to see that. But I can't see myself raising my hand with him. He taught me everything. So.
Question for both of you. You get a breakaway, are you going to score on Ben or no?
Say again?
You get a breakaway, are you going to score on Ben or no?
I take him out first, then I shoot.
That's the play. That's the play. Get me in the corner, I might be in trouble.
I'm terrible on ice. You know, I'm terrible on ice. This guy's the pro, and I'm happy to cheer him on. And he's doing great things for the Canucks. So, yeah. Shoot.
When you started out, how many hours a week were you training?
When I started in MMA?
Where? Martial arts.
Well, I've been wrestling since I was in diapers. So I don't know. That was my first sport, and I've been doing it ever since. And I played football, basketball, all that stuff. Hours twice a day, 6 days a week, put in the work. Especially the holidays, especially birthdays, weddings, because those are the ones everyone else takes up. Go on.
How many hours a day do you train?
Same deal, about 2.5 in the morning, 2.5 in the evening. In between, you're doing your recovery, massage, therapy, studying tape, bugging my coaches, trying to pick their brains some more, that type of stuff. So, And I've got a amazing wife who's very considerate. Great support system. Obviously, the rest of the family. So where we live, there's over 20 of us in a farmhouse. We live, a lot of us together, my uncles, my aunts, my parents, cousins, everybody. So they say it takes a village to raise a champ. I got the village right there. It's happening. So.
How do you compare to other, previous prospects in the heavyweight division?
How do I say that again, sir?
How do you compare to certain prospects you've seen before?
Yeah, you know what? I feel, so certain prospects out there, Greg Hardy and others, are unproven. I think I've proven myself in my abilities in terms of wrestling and even in the fight stuff. I did get caught in that one fight, but I was every second of every fight I've been in control. I've been dictating where the fight is and been comfortable. All that stuff matters. I'm excited to shed the prospect to contender title. And in my head, it's already there. It's a matter of you guys start writing it. So.
How do you think you beat Juan on Saturday?
How do I beat him? Like I said, he's big. He cuts a lot of weight. He's got power, but every heavyweight does. So that's not unique. What I bring, as you've seen me move around, is unique. I can do that for 15 minutes. I think I'm quicker, faster. Strength has never been an issue. I've wrestled heavyweights my entire life. And more than anything, I'm more professional in my approach. He's open about his partying, about spending his fight money and chasing women and all that type of stuff. I'm in the gym when he's doing that, and I've done that for a long, long time. So this is a way of life for me. It's not just a competition. I can be in front of cameras and then go do whatever I want to do. It means more to me. I've put more into it, and I think that's going to pay dividends in the striking and the grappling. Wherever the fight goes, I think I win.
Question for Ben real quick. Some hockey players do a bit of boxing in the off season. Would you be interested in doing a bit of training with Arjan?
Yeah, definitely.
We're doing it.
Usually in Vancouver when I'm training on Fridays we do boxing. So
Okay.
know how to toss the odd right
Yeah,
leg.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm in your category, but
Coach Adam actually coached the Canucks a couple years ago for the fight guys. Worked with Bieksa. But go ahead, tell him. Was that 2 years ago? Yeah.
We've all been traded now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Was it Bieksa with the Superman punch in the fight?
No,
actually he's thrown 2 of them in all
Yeah.
the fights.
So he's worked with the Canucks. Maybe we'll do that again when we get back.
There you go.
2 more questions. 2 more questions, and we cut. Go ahead.
What do you think are the most important things that make a champion?
Ooh, that's a complicated answer. Everything. You need everything, and then you still might not make it. If there's a simple answer to that, everyone would be a champion. It's very difficult. Everything has to align. The timing of your come up, the right support network, obviously your motivation, staying healthy. It's a long road. You need everything, and at the end of the day, athletic success, you still might not be the champion, but you'll be a better person for walking that path anyways. So it's worth it in my opinion to chase that. Right in the back.
You said you think you have a mental edge against your opponent. What do you mean and how did you get there?
Years of training. I know it's not physical. I know it's not. Everyone has the physical, especially at this level. And my approach, I train my mental as much. I pay attention to the spiritual, all aspects of it, and I think that makes me unique. And even when I've competed, that has been always the difference, in my opinion. It's at this level, the difference is only this much, and it's usually internal. Like I said, the physical is limited. But if you can focus on that and put in work in areas others aren't, which I have, I've given attention to that, and I don't think my opponent has the depth or maturity to give that attention. I think it pays off in the long run.
What kind of work goes into getting, what exactly do you do?
I do a lot of visualization. I work with some other folks as well, have keywords, cues in training. When I get in there, I've already run through the fight hundreds of times. Exactly how we want it to play out, from the walkout to my hands getting taped to what I'm wearing, every aspect. There's no surprises, there's no nerves. We try to bring it down to just like that, just another day, and that works for me. So once you see everything once you see it so many times, there's no surprises once you get in there. You've played everything out, and whoever can be as calm, collected as possible under the most pressure is the one who generally performs the best. And you can only do that if you spend time in that area. So, go.
Thank everyone for coming.
Yeah. Thank you guys. We'll take a group picture.